in the work we're doing, sort of it's our belief that actually we have to have people who are both incredibly technically capable, but also understand the human implications of it and figure out how to put those two things together, right? So, does tech-savvy humanist resonate to you as a quality of a leader?
I think when I saw your concept of a tech-savvy humanist, it did resonate for a number of reasons. I think first of all, my experience within the field of artificial intelligence is suggesting that this goes way beyond purely a technology play. This is something that has far broader implications, possibilities and opportunities. And this is something that we're starting to see scale quite quickly. I think from a sort of human lens, there's so many interesting considerations here as to the impact of bias on decision making.
Right.
The impact on job automation is something we've studied in great detail here. And this is something that's really raising a number of concerns within our clients that I think we're starting to address at quite a level of detail now.
So there's also some other issues related to not just AI, right, which is sort of the ways in which social media is changing who we are as people. Is it affecting democracy? I actually see you in a talk coming up in this week, right, around democracy. Can you talk a little bit about how your anxieties around the way technology is changing the system of which we're a part?
I think the issue at stake is that I think it's pretty well accepted now that we hand over troves of data as individual consumers into these platforms without a great deal of understanding about how the technology works.
Right.
Now we're getting a huge amount of utility for free that's simplifying our lives and making connectivity far easier at scale. But this is going to come at a cost if we can't put the right rigor, the right controls, and the right trust into the technology. My concern is that this technology is scaling so fast that policy, regulation, and the ability as a consumer and a citizen to keep pace with the understanding of this isn't keeping pace with the advent of the speed of the tech.
So we have two challenges here, right? We have the challenge of how can you be technically savvy and be human aware at the same time. We have the challenge of it's happening really fast, right? So how can you put Shakespeare with Bill Gates, right? And then how can you do it at the speed of light, right? And so do you know anyone who looks like that, who can put those things together at that speed and understand where it's going and how it impacts people, but gets the technology as well?
I think there's people that are showing signs of progress towards trying to achieve that. Clearly, my understanding of the paradox is that people have historically come from either a deep technology domain or they've come from a people management and engagement domain. And your paradox surmises the convergence between the two. There are people I've worked with that have come quite close to this yet, but to professionalize this as a strategic priority in our leaders, I don't think we've seen anyone absolutely nail this down yet.
What does it look like to be really, really deeply embedded in the technology and then wake up and say, actually, I got to worry about what this means for people? What does it look like to develop in the other direction?
I think it's a really important awakening for people that have maybe traditionally been servicing the creation of great product to drive revenue, to drive profitability. This gets to the very heart of your purpose as a technologist, I believe. I think that the whole point of this is not just to scale revenue, it's to solve important problems.
Right.
But at the heart of this issue around AI is the matter of trust.
Right.
And for me, that's the overriding factor that's seeing this journey of technologists moving towards becoming humanists. The stark truth is becoming evidently clear on an often weekly basis is that this goes way beyond technology development. This has to take into account all those implications of how this affects not just your workforce, your customers and stakeholders, but the societies you serve. And I think the most forward-thinking technologists aren't just seeing the human impact as a byproduct. I think they're putting it front and center as the purpose of why they're here.
And building it to help people be more effective and help systems work better, help society be more functional, right?
Exactly.
Which says I need to understand something about people in society to be building the systems to support them in the first place, right?
Yeah.
To understand our crazy systems as they're getting more complex, as they're trying to respond to this dynamic is really hard. How do we build someone who can do both at the same time?
I think it's very hard to think of it as building somebody. It's got to come from within. You've got to be curious. You've got to understand that this matters. And to be a rounded leader, you have to be able to be interested in the material. So if you're either a technologist becoming a humanist or a humanist becoming a technologist, You can't just decide to put yourself on a training program towards trying to achieve
Right.
the other balance of the paradox here. For me, I think the answer comes from the opportunity now to really bring diverse teams, different disciplines together, not just have a technology team in isolation, but to populate that with people that can bring perspectives from across the different disciplines and really allow yourself to be open to challenge. Is this the right thing to do? Have we thought through every consequence of the development of this technology? And if not, we need to bring more diversity into the team. And I think that's something that the best technology teams are starting to do at scale over the last year.
So you sort of did this, but what happens if people just say, I care about people, I just don't want to worry about tech, and I say, just care about technology, I don't want to worry about people. What happens to the world 10 years from now if we don't have enough people finding the bridge between the two?
Well, I think there's already early signs of where that's happened, and it's showing the early signs of causing business risk and potential societal damage. And these are just precursors to when we get to the point where this technology is significantly more powerful, where we start ceding our influence and ability to control the technology to more autonomous systems. You've got to think about this technology as pretty narrowly intelligent at the moment.
Yep.
It will move from this phase of simply assisting our lives to far more augmentation of our capability as humans, until the point we see far more autonomy, whether it's driverless cars or the automated decision of credits or criminal justice decisions. We can't afford to wait 5-10 years with the lack of controls and the lack of ability to consider the broadest implications, because we will see scale of harm beyond what we're seeing at the moment. So from my point of view, I think the need is far beyond the just a nice to have. I think this is a fundamental imperative for a leader to extol both sides of that paradox.